Lord Vader has hunted down and conquered dozens of Jedi over his career as a Sith Lord, humiliating and defeating some of the greatest members of the Order. However, there was one occasion where Vader took things extremely far and sent a wide message to a specific world, as well as the entire galaxy, that the Empire was to be feared, but more than this, that the Jedi were an embarrassment. So, how exactly did Darth Vader humiliate an Order 66 survivor so bad that an entire world turned on the Jedi? Greetings, Acolytes of the Force, back to the archives. We've been expecting you. Lord Vader had a sick fascination with the Jedi following his rise as a Sith Lord, a fascination with proving his superiority to the Order that rejected him, especially due to him losing to Obi-Wan on Mustafar. Darth Vader was a possessed demon, a creature, an avatar of the dark side, who, even against the greater wishes of his master Sidious, wanted nothing more than to execute the Jedi and execute them in grand fashion. Time and time again, Vader pursued these Jedi across the stars, winning several notable battles against the Jedi, such on the world of Kashyyyk, just following being repaired, to the world of Kessel, where Darth Vader personally killed no less than 8 Jedi, a mission that would cause Vader to become a legend in the ears and eyes of surviving Jedi, one that struck them with nothing but terror. All of these defeats of the Jedi at the hand of Darth Vader absolutely pale in comparison to the Jedi that we'll be discussing today, as we reveal exactly why letting this Jedi go was the ultimate humiliation. This terror would occur on an inner rim planet, the planet of Vaklan, and because of its positioning in the galaxy, this was a valuable world to the Empire, and a rare place that someone would find a Jedi following Order 66. However, there was a very specific reason that the Jedi fled to this world. There was actually a rising insurgency, and the local populace were aiding the Jedi, with this marking one of the first real rebellions against the Empire, as Vaklan was one of the few worlds that did not turn their back on the legendary Jedi Peacekeeper, offering them protection and sanctuary. A vital mistake. Prior to Darth Vader's arrival, it was known that on Vaklan that there were actually 2 previous Jedi who had selected this world as their hideout, with one being terminated by Imperial forces and the other captured, and still, this world rebelled. But there were still rumors on the world that another Jedi, a final Jedi, remained, and there was legends that this final Jedi, Chona, was the most powerful of the 3. Even though the Jedi was a threat, Vader and the 501st Legion had received valuable information that the Jedi was hiding somewhere referred to as the Howling Ruins. However, the ruins were a trap, as the Jedi knew that Vader was coming. With the help of the rebels, they quickly took out every stormtrooper as well as Imperial tanks in the vicinity, leaving only Vader and leaving what Chona believed was a fair fight. As the Jedi and the rebels pulled back, they were shocked, however, as Darth Vader did not actively pursue them. Instead, he watched from afar as the Jedi and the rebels limped away, realizing that deeper within the ruins was only more ambushes. As the surviving stormtroopers and Vader made their way through the city and back to their command post, a dangerous seed was planted in the minds of the civilians. The Empire was not invincible, and now this great dark legend was not invincible either. The Jedi were winning. To make matters worse, high-ranking Imperials of the Security Division were actually quite terrified. They believed that even if Darth Vader hunted down and executed the Jedi Knight, that the insurgency would continue. There was simply too much hope on the world. Enraged, Darth Vader demanded that he be presented with the Jedi that was captured, demanding the location of Chona, the Jedi who had just embarrassed the Dark Lord and the newfound Empire. As a side note, Darth Vader does not go about this torture in a normal way. Darth Vader normally is very calculated when he does these things, but this Vader is enraged. This is a new Darth Vader, and there are glimpses of Anakin Skywalker's rage peeking from behind the mask. Darth Vader uses the Force to torture this young Jedi, but he does not target the throat. He targets the heart, using the dark side to peer into the Jedi's mind, as he inflicts excruciating pain on the dying Order 66 survivor. However, something terrible would again happen to Vader. As a massive explosion erupted behind the Dark Lord, he realized that the insurgents and the rebels were at it again, and this time they were attempting to free another Jedi. And what made it worse is they were successful. The previously captured Jedi lunged at Darth Vader, but Vader was too powerful and Vader was too quick, activating his lightsaber and cutting the pitiful Jedi in half. However, as the insurgents retreated, they viewed this Jedi as a hero, and their cause was only strengthened. Things were becoming far too tumultuous on the world that the Imperials were actually forced to retreat to near orbit. And something else shocking happened. Darth Sidious became directly involved in the matter. In a meeting with Darth Sidious, he was absolutely furious and massively disappointed with Vader. Vader even made the mistake of commenting that if the insurgents did not calm themselves, then the Imperials should bomb the world. Darth Sidious lashed out at his apprentice, stating that fear would never be enough. Sidious stated that if they could lose a world like Vaklan, the Empire would fall. Sidious's final words to Vader were that he needed to rule and to stop thinking like a soldier, but an emperor. Vader would then meet with the officer Namada, curious as to why the people remained so loyal and intently devout to the Jedi, with the conversation leading down the path that they needed to break the rebels' heart, not the world itself. Something large had to happen, and with that, Vader had a plan. Vader realized that he would need to destroy the rebellion and the Jedi Knight all at once, and in grand public fashion, as well as prove to the people that the Empire was the new ruler, as well as a viable resource to better themselves. Vader then leaked to the rebellion that he had actually left the world, and just as Vader had thought, the Jedi appeared. The duel was fierce, but it was not as difficult as Darth Vader had anticipated. This was no special Jedi after all. With the duel over, Darth Vader pinned the Jedi and aimed his red lightsaber hilt directly at the Jedi Master's head. But this was not the right way, and this was not enough. And Vader quickly stood up and allowed the Jedi to leave, saying absolutely nothing to the young knight. This terrified the young Jedi, as he quickly walked through the streets, attempting to find safety, concerned as to why a Sith Lord would have let him go. The people of the town began to take note, the same way that they had taken note when Vader had been defeated by the rebels. As the Jedi Knight frantically looked around for help, an Imperial gunned him down. Not a Sith Lord, a regular agent. It was now clear exactly what Darth Vader's grand plan had been. He needed to prove that the Jedi were in fact lesser by disorienting him and terrifying him so much that he would walk through the very streets of the people that supported him in utter confusion. He was supposed to be an extremely powerful weapon of the light side, and yet he crumbled. He was not a martyr, he was a fool. And following this, the world completely turned over to Imperial rule, looking at the actions of Chona the Jedi and his supporters as fools, and whatever rebels remained quickly faded away, and Darth Vader never had to lift a finger. The world now definitively belonged to the Empire, and Darth Vader had successfully executed the murder of another Jedi. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this story? For those of you curious, this story comes from Star Wars Purge, The Tyrant's Fist. But anyway, my acolytes, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on one of Darth Vader's definitive victories over a Jedi, and how letting the Jedi go and letting him live is what actually won him an Inner Rim world? As always, my friends and acolytes, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. May the Force be with you, and I hope to hear from you soon.